you in if ain't no reparation? How much you spending on your preparation? I'm about them binges so to win and be the motivation. Determination is intention plus the willpower. Real power, pressure you should feel. Ours, bills tower. Over us, I overcome, I'm overcomes. I need direct transactions. Don't wanna wait till you load the funds. You hold the funds and Joseph come. Promote the curve, demote your son. I overthrow the CEO, I'm taking over some. The chosen one, you throw me one, you owe me two. You holding one, I'm holding you accountable. Act like you owe me one. Look, every lesson learned is a lesson taught. Every blessing earned is a blessing caught. Promise I'm meek and humble and grateful for every bit. The head is heavy, so your crime must have a heavy fit. The Biggdogg Chico show. That sports talk. Sco Buff. Joe Flo.
Y'all know what it is, man. Oh, now to everybody out there checking in, listening in, no matter how you listening in, put it in the chat right now. Your city, your state, questions, comments, whatever it is. Put an 09 in the chat right now if you're checking in. No matter where you're checking in from. This is the Biggdogg Chico show coming to you live and direct from the middle of the ocean. Straight to you, wherever you're checking in from. East Coast, West Coast, it doesn't even matter. We up in this thing together. You understand me? We're going to talk about some latest and greatest in sports and things of that nature. Of course, we got to talk about my Lakers, Colorado football, Coach Prime, and anything else that's in the news right now. Not even right now, but right now. You feel me? Oh, now Debbie Garcia checking in, Waco, Texas, showing love all the time, and everybody else who might come up in this thing. But mainly, I just wanted to get on here. I haven't done this in a while by myself alone. So I had to bring it back to you like we've been doing originally, and we're going to continue doing once this spring start. March 11th, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday practices getting ready to come up. I remember those days, so y'all make sure y'all be ready to lock in, get ready for the spring practice. Got a lot of guys been showing up in workouts, looking like they're going to be leaders on this Colorado Buffalo squad, and so on. So we're going to make sure we get into that. Shout out to Philip Dukes, who did an update on the guys who's looking good right now in camp. But I did want to discuss what could be a possible QB battle with Salter and Juju Lewis, just at the top of my head. All right. When is Colorado's Pro Day? I don't have it right here with me, but I think it's on, don't make me say a date. I don't know. I could text that and find out the exact date, though. Let me do that while I can, since Dennis just asked. Colorado's Pro Day. I'll make sure I get that for you guys before we get up off of here. But I will say this, on Pro Day, it will be, I don't know the exact day. Yes, it's in April. I don't know the exact day off the top of my head right now. Is it the 10th or the 4th? I'll have to get it right. But anyways, Shedeur Sanders will be at that Pro Day, and he will be throwing at that Pro Day, of course. I think he'll be working out because he will have, of course, teammates there who will need to have that look, to have passes thrown by Shedeur Sanders and not anyone else, to make sure they're on point, to make sure everybody gets their best look in front of the scouts. You're going to have guys like Jimmy Horn Jr., LeJontay Wester, Will Shepherd out there running routes for Shedeur. And you don't want to see him throwing at the combine, because that's why you don't see many other quarterbacks. You saw 3 last year, top quarterbacks that didn't throw last year, because you don't want to be out there throwing to receivers that are not yours, guys you're not familiar with, and you might be throwing to, a taller guy, but you're throwing it like you used to throwing it to a shorter guy, and he doesn't go down to get the ball. Now you look bad on film because it looks like you're throwing a bad ball or whatever, because you're throwing to a receiver who is not running the right depth, might not be somebody you're used to and such. So these guys usually won't throw at the combines due to things of that nature, and they'll just do the interviews, talk to the scouts, talk to the teams, let them get to know you in a personal level, let them get to see you in person and things like that. But to actually go through the workouts throwing, I don't think so. I don't think Shedeur should run a 40 at all. 40 shouldn't even be in his combine or pro day workout. It should be all throws in interviews. If anything, y'all seen the footage, y'all know I could make every throw on tape, every throw on the field. So that's what it is. Date not official yet, but looks like it's going to be March 19th or somewhere around that. And that date is still not listed on Coach Prime's calendar or the school's calendar also. So I wouldn't even, be firm on that pro day, which is what Dennis is asking. So looks like it will be March the 19th or somewhere around that day. And then we'll see as the draft is in April. So we're also, I think, with Shador working out at the pro day in Colorado. That's going to bring more eyes from the scouts, which will be more eyes on players like Chidozie Nwankwo and all the other, yeah, and all the other recruits that are coming out of Colorado. He definitely won't throw it at the combine. I think it's a possibility that he'll throw at pro day for his receivers and just to put that and put the best foot forward for those guys so they can possibly get drafted. We saw what Shador said was on his birthday wish was, to get all his guys drafted. Hopefully all his guys get drafted. So that's including all of the teammates that he had. Shout out to Levante Bentley also, Herman Smith the third, and everybody else out there looking to get drafted. Shiloh Sanders said, "Okay, you guys not gonna invite me to the official combine? All right, this is what I'll do, dog. I'm gonna bring the combine basically to me. The electronic timing that they do at the combine to make sure that it's not just a stopwatch and human error and someone upping the times or doctoring the times and such. They use the same measuring that they use at the combine for the 40-yard dash. Shiloh brought it to Colorado to get his 40-yard dash timed correctly, accurately, and so on. So he's doing the things that maybe a lot of other guys can't afford to do, don't have the resources or even the acumen to do that. And that is, okay, I'm going to bring it to me. I'm going to do all these things that I would do at the combine. I'll do them right here, pre-combine, and get it all on tape, all on film, so you guys can know exactly where I am, even though I'm not officially invited. So that's just what it is. Shout out to Shiloh. I think he will get drafted, whether it's in the later rounds or whatever. I think he will get drafted. He's a draftable player in my eyes, I think, in the NFL at that safety spot. Now, if you look at, and I bring up this right here, let me see. If I bring up the draft order, of course, Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, and Bears round out the top 10 picks. People saying Shador Sanders and Cam Ward don't have a first-round grade on them. They might slide. I think that's a whole bunch of baloney. Because if I'm one of these teams who need a quarterback, Cam Ward, Shador Sanders definitely going to be in my top 10 picks right here. So I'm going to say this. Let's say the Titans go Abdul Carter, right? I think that's setting it up so that Shador can fall into one of the places that I think he will be, he would be the best fit at, and he will hopefully have the most success at. And that is, to me, at the 6th spot with the Raiders or the 7th spot with the Jets. Will he fall that far? Will those guys pass on them, or will one of those teams trade up to ensure they get Shador Sanders? Because I think the Cleveland Browns, presented with the opportunity, will take Cam Ward. So having said that, I think Shador Sanders, I don't care about him getting drafted 1, 2, 3, or 4. I want him to go to the best place that's going to be for him. Surround him with the talent, offensive line, of course, has a defense, and big city. Now, the last mock draft that Phil Yates and Mel Kiper put out, they had Shador Sanders going to the Jets and Travis Hunter going to the Giants. Now, let's look at that scenario and ask ourselves, what would that be like if Shador Sanders ended up in New York along with Travis Hunter in New York City? What do you guys think about that? How would that fit? I think that would be, if you ask Bucky, right, Well Off Media, what would be the best scenario for Travis and Shador? I think Buck would say, man, think about it. They play in the same stadium and right across the river from each other, exactly. So as opposed to being across country from each other, So you telling me Travis and Shador, and I would think, of course, Shiloh would eventually get drafted by whatever team that drafts Shador. If they're both in New York City, now it makes it a lot easier for that transition for the media, well-off media, reach the people media, Coach Prime media, the pregame show. Well, I think the pregame show going to be with Coach Prime. But as far as the media that would be following the players, I think it'll be excellent for them both to be in New York City with the Giants and the Jets. Big city, number one market, and we don't have to be flying across country. If I want to do a video with Travis and I want to do a video with Shador, now you telling me they're both in New York City, the media mecca of the world? Whoo, that would be, as LaShonda said, that would be legendary. That would be ideal, I think, for the business around that to flourish as far as well off, reach the people, and everything else. Everything they have going right now, for it to continue to flourish, I think that'll be a great situation. Or, and I don't think this is even possible, if one of them ended up in Denver and the other one in Las Vegas. That's not too much of a crazy flight or flying around right there. Las Vegas, Denver, that's close to Colorado. So now that three-headed monster can still be right there. They can fly back and forth. But both guys in New York is a strong possibility, I think. I don't think that Shador would fall to 7. I think if he does get past like 3 or 4, that those teams in the 6th and 7th spot will look to trade up for Shador. So if Titans pass on the quarterback and take Carter, Browns take Cam Ward, the Giants take Travis Hunter, Patriots take the left tackle Campbell, Jaguars don't take a quarterback. They have Trevor Lawrence down there, so they take Graham or an offensive lineman. Now you're right there with the Raiders and the Jets. Now, if number 3, the Giants take Travis and Shador still on the board at 4 with the Patriots, why wouldn't the Raiders call the Patriots and say, listen, we did some business back in the day with Randy Moss and such different players. We need to get up to that number 4 spot and take Shador. Or the Jets call New England and say, hey, we need to leapfrog the Raiders to get our quarterback. Would y'all be willing to trade the number 7 from number 4? Or the Raiders say, okay, it's a better spot than 7. You can come to 6 and we'll trade you guys and give you an extra pick. I think that's going to be the scenario where Shador Sanders will be drafted in the number 4 slot, the number 4 slot right behind Travis, who goes to New York, and Shador either goes to Las Vegas to the Raiders or to New York and the Jets. Let me know what y'all think in the chat right now. I got old school in the chat who I haven't had out here in a long time. Shout out to old school checking in. All things worked out for the good with those who believe and work accordingly to his purpose. And we all know who his is. Oh, now old school checking in once again. I appreciate you checking in, dog. Haven't seen you on here in a minute. Appreciate you. I know this is the first time I've been doing a Biggdogg Chico show alone, so we might see some people up in we haven't seen in a while. Appreciate you guys. Clint Moses, last year Big 12 held their own combine days late in March. 130 players participate. I think that's going to be a case also to where you'll see the Big 12 holding their pro day once again this year, along with Colorado. So you're going to see maybe some of the Colorado players will do double pro days. I don't know. More exposure. Should they do that? If I'm Shadozi, if I'm a defensive lineman, somebody like that who might be getting overlooked, or I feel like, the more exposure will help, then that's what I'm going to do. Oh, now Big Bro checking in. Taylor made out there. I just wanted to make sure Shiloh, Cameron, and Block Willie make it. Man, Cameron, Sim, and Craig, like Coach Prime said, if he get offered to come into camp, it's going to be hard to let him go. He's going to do everything right. He's going to do everything you ask for. You're going to ask him to practice hard, work hard, study hard, learn the plays, get out there, give your best 100%, and be productive. Cameron, Sim, and Craig is exactly all of those things. He's going to be productive. He's going to do what you say. He's not going to cause problems. He's going to be a leader. And so same thing with Block Bully. You got some high character type players on this squad who's eligible to be drafted right now. That shows you the recruiting that Coach Prime and his staff done this past couple of years. I think these guys are draftable, and a lot of people sleeping on free agent pickup. Like I was, like you're going to get calls right after the draft, especially if you have an agent. Right after the draft is over, you're going to get people calling you. It's a short draft. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have people call you, hey, man, we want to offer you to come into our camp and compete at this position. And for some guys, it's going to be a better opportunity than if they were to get drafted. Everybody wants to get drafted to have that on their resume or whatever. But for some guys, it's going to be better for them to go as a free agent to a team that really wants them as opposed to getting drafted late in the draft where a team is just drafting you for, that roster spot or to get cut or just because they have a draft pick to draft. So, you know what I mean? So I think that's going to be the case coming up. Old school. Yes, indeed. It's good to see you too, young man. I ain't been nowhere. I've been looking at you. I've been seeing you with good company. Congratulations. I appreciate that, old school. And I know what you mean on that. Good company. Why you didn't play at the Shrine Bowl? You mean Shedeur Sanders? Why should he? What other top quarterbacks in the last few drafts have you seen play in a postseason bowl or all-star game like that? Not many. So there's no need for Shedeur Sanders to have gone out there playing behind an offensive line that he doesn't even know. Doesn't have that same chemistry. So you're putting yourself at risk of getting sacked by hungry senior all-stars who are looking to make the name for themselves, and all they got to do is sack Shedeur Sanders. No, dog, we're not going to put you in that position. Not going to put you in that position to continue to take licks. Cam, why didn't Cam play? I think Cam didn't play because, and you see a lot of players, not a lot, but certain players not play in the Shrine Bowl after practicing throughout the whole week. You got to realize now, throughout the whole week, there are scouts there evaluating the practices, watching what these guys are doing, interviewing these guys. So some cases, some situations, you will have the scouts telling the players, hey, we like what you did at practice this whole week. We're pretty high on you. We think that, we got a lot of picks. We got, late round picks or whatever. We think that you'll be one of the guys that we'll have our eye on to possibly draft in the late rounds. We don't think you need to do anything else in the game. Nothing in the game that you do will up your stock anymore. We've seen enough in practice, which in football, you practice way more than you actually play. So I think that somebody might have gotten in his ear, agent, scout, or someone said, along with him and the other guys that didn't participate, and say, hey, man, we've seen enough. Shut it down. No need to risk the possibility of getting hurt. Go to your pro day, run a good time. You're on our draft board. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear. I have a possibility to get drafted, and the game will not up my draft stock anymore because they've seen enough at practice. Hell, I'm opting out too. I'm opting out for him. No, do not risk the chance of going to get hurt. Yes, Cam and Jimmy Horn Jr., that's what I think. Colin wakes Deuce up again. Deuce gonna get on me, dog, about that. So let me see. Appreciate that once again. So yeah, that's what I think, man. As far as the pro days go, as far as Colorado goes, and their draftable players, drafted or not, free agent guys will be able to pick where they go and pick a situation that's going to fit for them, their game, their body, their scheme fits and such on, and possibility of making the team because of who's in front of them on the depth chart, I think is key when talking about that. So that's my update on Colorado football and the draft. Like I said before, and after the question was asked, when is the combine for the Buffs? And from my sources, it says that it's not official yet, but it looks like it'll be around March the 19th, somewhere up in there. You feel me? So let's talk about this though. I got to talk about my Lakers. Got to get to my Lakers Shout out to Bubba Dub because my Lakers are not trash. I tell you that much. Not this season, as we're battling with like usually during this time of the year, the Lakers would be battling trying to stay into the playoffs or get into the playoff play-in tournament. Right now, Lakers are what, fourth in the NBA in the West, fourth or fifth, and we're trending upward with the roster that we have. Let me say this: the trade for Williams for Dalton Connect, I think, was deboed by the Lakers after they realized that, man, no matter what center we bring in, especially via trade right now, they're not going to stop Joker, and we need to stop Joker. How can we do that then? Well, we need to keep this young guy Connect on the wing because that's where teams win at, or on the wing. You got to have dynamic wing players, not necessarily dynamic big players. You can have serviceable big players, as you saw with the Lakers when they won with Dwight Howard and McGee. Those guys wasn't dominant, but they did their part. They played their role, which is what I think would have been too much to give up for Dalton Connect for a guy to just come in and play their role when you have a guy like Jackson Hayes. You just signed Alex Lynn. You got backup centers on the roster. You got Vanderbilt, who can also play center. Man, we can go with a committee, just like teams go with a committee of running backs, multiple running backs, not just one guy. We can go with a committee in a rotation of guys at the center position. That guy has 5 fouls. That guy has 5 fouls. That guy can rebound. He can shoot free throws. He can defend, whatever. We're gonna go with center by committee, and we're gonna be elite at the other spots on the wing, at the point guard, decision making, no turnovers, running in fast break, in transition, and we're gonna win like this. Instead of putting all our chips on the big man, maybe he'll come in free agency anyway. We'll keep Dalton Connect, and we're gonna win like this with the roster that the Lakers have. You saw what they did to Jokic. They were trapping with quicker players rather than trying to defend him one-on-one with a 7-footer. It's not going to happen. You got to bring double teams from all different ways and force him to kick that ball out or make turnovers and force those guys to hit shots on the perimeter. That's what I'm telling you about the Lakers right now. And right now, they're trending upward to where OKC better watch out in their Western Conference Finals or the semifinals. I'm not worried about Dallas unless they get healthy. Minnesota, not really worried about them. Like Houston Rockets are young and up and coming, but they don't have that experience yet, I think, even though they have some veterans on their squad. But the Lakers are right where I think we need to be. Taylor May, I hope you can make to see you for Pro Day. Nah, dog. Neely will be there. And, so they'll be like the correspondents. I'll be back here in the studio, staying here, and instead of flying there for the CU Pro Day, unless I'm already on the mainland, and then I'll do it. LaShonda Woodson checked in, said all season long other players were trying to break number 2 in half. So I'm glad they other players opt out of playing to avoid the risk. Me too. That's all I was saying. That's exactly what I meant by that, and I appreciate you for checking in and saying that. Shout out to Gilly the Kid and the Philadelphia Eagles, or should I say Gilly the King, and the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. And they did their thing all year long supporting the Philadelphia Eagles. So I want to give a shout out to the OG. He was also at the Colorado Buffs football games and putting on for them all season. So just want to give a shout out to Gilly while we on here. I want to make sure y'all check out the morning run Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning time. Myself, Uncle Neely, Dukes the Scoop. You Tell Me is Uncle Neely, Dukes the Scoop each and every Tuesday. Then, of course, we have Unc and Chico Sunday nights and Thursday night checking in. I'm going to try to do a Biggdogg Chico show at least twice a week. I'll check in with you guys and let y'all know what the haps on the craps is. We got Ace Capone checking in once again. Oh, now, because I'm a grown ass man, and I still call and wake my partners up at 4 and 5 a.m. for no reason. Tell them early bird get the worm and hang up. It's childish behavior. Boy, you call me with the early bird get the worm stuff. I'm not going to answer your call. You got to call from somebody, from another number. You feel me? I'm not answering. After the first time you do that, it's OV from then on. You dig? I know my lighting is kind of dark. I'm in a new location right now, so the lighting will get better in the studio as this time goes on. You'll see more and more from the Biggdogg Chico on the Biggdogg Chico show right here where you guys are checking in. I would appreciate you guys if y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you guys will know. I want to get in that Laker talk. Get into that Laker talk. Let's go. Let's get into the Laker talk even more because we already know what time it is. When LeBron is doing, as he said, playing wide receiver, he can just run the floor, just get out in transition. Luka gets the ball. Like usually LeBron would be looking to get if somebody get the rebound, he'd be looking to get the outlet pass, and he'll be pushing it up the court and looking to facilitate, make the pass or something like that. When LeBron can run the lane and know that someone else is playing the point guard quarterback and making a decision, getting the ball out to him, those quick outlet passes like Kevin Love used to do to him in Cleveland or do for him in Cleveland, Dwayne Wade, Mario Chalmers did in Miami. You have another guy along with Austin Reeves, elite player in the league with Luka Doncic, who can make those decisions and get those easy baskets. I think LeBron had like eight points or 10 points off of transitions, layups, or dunks this last game. You feel me? So yes, as Kai said, the defense has definitely been better without KD. I think that's because they're not relying on one guy to be the anchor. It's a team thing now. We're playing as a team. We're rotating on defense. You remember how your high school coach used to have you rotating that zone defense, or either man, you got to get out there and practice. That's what they're doing now. JJ Redick, who is probably the second guy in line for Coach of the Year behind, I think, Biggdogg out in Detroit with what they're doing. JJ Redick is right there for Coach of the Year with what he's doing, especially on the defensive side of the ball, switching everything up, losing AD, bringing in Luka. You got the young guy coming off the bench playing on the wing also, undrafted guy who's hungry. That's the type of players you need on the squad. Guys who are going to come in and give you those 8 to 10 to 12 minutes. That's going to be hard minutes. That's going to guard the other guy, top player or top ball handler on the field, on the court. You have a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith who's going to guard that number one wing. Hachimura, Rui, he's going to guard those wings and the big man, the forwards and stuff. All those guys know their role and what they're supposed to do, and they can hit spot up three-pointers. So the Lakers are right there where they want to be. I'm glad we didn't get Mark for Connect. Mark can come later. Connect is going to continue to develop, and he's going to be an electric, dynamic wing player for the Lakers in the future. Watch what I tell you. Goodwin is his name. Appreciate that, Kai. Goodwin, Vanderbilt give some valuable minutes. Exactly. Off the bench, they're coming in knowing their role. We're coming in and do the dirty work. We need rebounds. We need 3 to 5 fouls each game from y'all. Hard ones, too. I'm not just talking about any type of fouls. That's what I used to do in high school, though. I said, you know what? I'm going to get rebounds. Y'all don't have to pass me the ball because I'm going to get it off your rebound unless I call for it. And I'm going to get 3 to 4 hard fouls to let these guys know I'm here. That's what we need. And Vanderbilt, Alex Lynn, Jackson Hayes, who a great lob guy, we need 3 to 4 to 5 hard fouls per game. And we're gonna be good from that. That's letting the other guys know that we're physical down here. We're not playing. Yes, I like Connect, and yes, we do need Connect. And once he come in and get into his rhythm and to his own and find where he fits in on his Lakers squad, that's when the Lakers are going to be really dangerous. If he can come off that bench and provide 15 to 18 points a game. What? That could be pretty high, but coming off the bench, that's nothing for him. This guy can shoot threes. He could drive the lane. He can finish at the basket. So that's one of the guys we ain't trade him. Think about all the NBA championship teams in the past. All have had dynamic wing players, not necessarily dynamic or great or top tier bigs, not even great or top tier point guards, wing players, 2 guards, 3 guards, fours, whether it's a stretch 4 or a power forward. That's what guys have. So that's what teams had in the past. I can't even be mad at the Lakers. That's an easy decision. Luka for AD for a walking liability, done deal. It couldn't get no better for the Lakers. If the Mavs called them and said, we have a trade for you that involves Luka, I'm sure the Lakers said, man, listen, if we can keep Austin Reeves and LeBron, you can have whatever you want. And they messed around and said, we just want AD. And the young guy, Max Christie, who's been balling, matter of fact, I think he's been averaging like 16 points per game with the Mavs. But you're telling me I got to give up AD and just Max Christie in the first round pick for Luka? So y'all don't want everything? Y'all just want them? Bet. Hurry up and make that deal. We're not going to act like we're very excited, though. We just hurry up and make the deal. Yes, Gabe Vincent been balling too at the point guard, shooting threes. If he can be consistent, he wasn't last couple of years, but if he can be consistent and shooting those threes, that's going to be huge. I'm sure the Lakers thought it was a prank call. You ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
I'm sure they thought it was a prank call. Like, man, you can't be serious. I got to share the picture right quick, though, before we get up. I got to share the picture. Let me see if I can pull it up. I got to share the picture that when Luka made the eye contact with the general manager in the stands, that was classic. That was classic, bro. I went straight to the locker room getting play. It's coming down to playoff mode right now. It's playoff mode right now, dog. So y'all might as well get ready for the Lakers. Y'all might as well get ready to see me because I will be checking in on my Lake Show each and every week and on the Colorado Buffaloes each and every week and everything else in sports right here. 09 to Goonsville Clothing. Y'all see the GV I got on, GV Athletics. Y'all see it over my head right there. GV Athletics, Goonsville Athletics. Make sure y'all go to the website right now, goonsvilleclothing.com, and get you some. Use our code Uncle Chico 2025 to get 10% off at checkout. Not right now, but right now. All right. Until next time, man, I just want to stay on here for a good 30 minutes, half hour, just to bring you guys the latest and the greatest. This is the biggest dog, Chico to the sea, and the place to be, coming to you live and direct from the middle of the ocean. All right. Cue my theme music before we get up out of here. My dog Taylor May said, please take a moment, like and subscribe. Appreciate you, Chico. Appreciate y'all, man, for checking in. Goonsville Clothing. Y'all know what it is, man. Goons got goons. We're going to be up and about of this thing. Peace in the Middle East.
Over us, I overcome. I'm overcomes. I need direct transactions. Don't want to wait till you load the funds. You hold the funds and Joseph come promote the clerk, demote your son. I overthrow the CEO. I'm taking over some. The chosen one, you throw me one. You owe me two. You holding one. I'm holding you accountable. Act like you owe me one. Look, every lesson learned is a lesson taught. Every blessing earned is a blessing caught. Promise I'm meek and humble and grateful for every bit. The head is heavy, so your promise have a heavy fit. The Biggdogg Chico Show. That's sports talk. Scope up. Joe Flow.